Content Catchup.
All right, here we go.
We ready?
I think so. I'm just tightening up my mic again for the 10th time. What the fuck? I hate this microphone.
You're in shambles whenever recording Friday night again.
Friday night, friends, enemies, here we are. Welcome to episode 22 of the Content Catch-Up. Michael, it's such a pleasure to be back. We had a week off. I heard our fans missed us. You know what? I reckon the last time we had a week off, Melbourne went into lockdown, and we take another week off, and Melbourne's in lockdown again.
I think you're right.
Some correlation here.
I think you're right. That's unfortunate. But oh well, I like the energy in here early, Jules. So lockdown can only get us so down, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But happy Friday. We made it through to Friday. Saw your face last night. But how are you since then?
I woke up a bit dusty, to be fair, and to anyone listening, we farewelled one of our colleagues last night, just before lockdown ended. Of course, all above the board, all very legal.
Before midnight.
Nothing before midnight. Marnie Olsen-Young will be departing the Carlton Football Club and going on to greener pastures. One of our top listeners. So thanks, Marns, for your support and good luck. Interestingly enough, Michael, there's a bit of 6 degrees of separation here because she will be leaving Carlton to go and work with an advertising agency that deals with the NBL. And we all know who works at the NBL.
Darren, I believe. Big Darren.
Dollar Dazzler.
Dollar Dazzler, who is, for those who need reminding, brother, but also a guest on the show. He was the first guest of this season, I think.
Season 2, episode 1, if you want to listen to it.
Go back to it. But Jules, you said colleague. I think friend would be appropriate, and loyal listener, as you covered as well. So it's not just a colleague, listener. but well done, Marnie. I didn't quite think you had it in you when I first met you, but you've done really well. So well done.
I am kidding. That's a whack. It's a whack if I've ever heard one. But otherwise, good, Bucks. Everything all right in your world? Give us a rundown of NBA action from the week. We're 2-2 now, aren't we?
Yep, NBA Finals. So the Milwaukee Bucks won Game 4, tied up 2-2. I'm personally rooting for the Suns because of mainly Chris Paul, but I think that's a very likable outfit. They eliminated my Clippers, of course. So I got shit for sort of not jumping to the Suns, but they're just very likable. But yes, that's the rundown. Do you want me to go? We won't go more in depth, but that's basically where my time has been spent this week.
But yeah, we've noticed a bit of a you can't talk to Bucks during the game, basically.
Which is not exactly appropriate because I'm meant to be working.
It's not exactly true either. Bucks is a very hard worker. Should we get into some content?
We can. Did I ask how you were? I think I did. Just as long as
you asked me how I am.
As long as I seem polite. But all right, we'll jump in. I'll jump in first. I want to stick with hey, Bernie's clawing the wall in the background.
Yeah, it doesn't like that the blind is
this is
Bernie.
Anyway,
get down. Anyway,
Julian, I want to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. No surprise.
Yes, let's talk Cavs.
Basketball content. The Cleveland Cavs. I nearly said.
There we go.
Nearly said they've had a sip of cider. So,
that's it.
The Cleveland Cavaliers. It's their off season, obviously. They've been doing #Cavs Creator Week. What is that, you might ask? It's exactly what it sounds like. So basically, I love it. They're championing their content creators, which is a funny dynamic because as content creators, your job is to create content, obviously, but they've done it on themselves. So there's no relying on players. There's no relying on organisation with time. It's doing it on yourself. But anyway,
you're going to have to take me through this. I'm not really buying into this yet.
As in, you're not sure if you like it. I'll sell you. So basically, I'll share my screen. But before I share my screen, they've been doing things like talking to their videographer, David Sosna, who is an elite talent and one of my inspirations, I guess you could say. But to give you an example, they sit him down, they talk to him about his favourite mix of the year, and he basically goes through it and explains the footage he got, I guess the atmosphere, why he cut it the way he did, why the storyline was the way it was. And then he also does another one where they go through basically just the behind the scenes of the routine of when you film training, or film in game, how the hell you get the vision up so quickly. I'll show you an example, and you can even watch it if you're not sold still, but you probably need sound. So we'll cut to this shortly, listeners, and we can show a bit of audio on the old podcast. But cut, and we'll watch this.
What's up, guys? David Sosna here. I'm going to walk you through how we turn around clips for social during a game. So obviously we're not in the arena right now. This is at practice, but here I am. I get the shot. I take my card out, place it right into the laptop, and now at this process, we want to turn this around in a minute or less. And so going through, I have my timeline already set up, ready to go with my coloring and our watermark. I find the clip, I place it in, and then through this part, it's just finding the ins and outs of that clip, the best parts of it. If I need to slow it down, then I will. If I need to make any adjustments, I will. But then I go, export it, boom, clip is loading and done. From there, I send it out on Slack and back up and shoot.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that one and then we can watch the next one?
Yeah, all right, let's talk about that one first.
So the first one we just watched, listeners, we'll put this in our brilliant spreadsheet created by the one and only Julian. We'll put this in there, but we basically just watched him explain. He was sitting on the court side on a seat, filmed a bit of training, and we went through the process talking through, after you've shot the piece of content you want, what he actually does to put on his laptop, put in Premiere, whatever, to get it out on socials. I think it's just a really easy way to explain what the hell people do in our position.
Yeah.
And that's probably it, but I just liked it's part of the Cavs Creator Week, and they're what are you laughing at?
And that's probably it.
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. What do you think?
Nah, I think it's pretty good. One question I do have is though, like, what's the urgency in turning that around within a minute? Like, why is this guy so stressed about getting it in a minute?
I think it'd be more explaining the process of how they do it in game. They just did it in training.
Okay. Yes. Sorry.
I'm assuming that'd be the case, and perhaps they didn't have the time to waste during an actual game to do it.
That's a good point. But also when he goes back to shooting at the end, he doesn't actually put a card back in his camera.
Doesn't he? Egg David. Nah. You egged part of my exam.
Watch back. I'm pretty sure he leaves it in his card reader. It's a real shame you can't scrub Instagram videos because...
yeah. Is that something they bring in?
Nah, I doubt it.
All right, well, we can pause it. I'm just going to watch it. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. So the video we just watched is him explaining how he puts the SD card basically into Premiere, exports it, put it on social media, but he forgets to put the SD card back in his camera. But let's watch the next one. So this next one is basically asking him what his favorite highlight mixtape is.
Yeah, so for the Scary Hours mix, whenever you're turning around something that quick, it is about relevancy and it's about getting it out quick for us. And so because right before that was the first game of KD, Harden, and Kyrie playing together, the Scary Hours was a big theme going on. And then it's all ruined by Colin just going off, basically, and the team playing an incredible game. So I stayed up that night until probably about 4 or 5 in the morning. And, that's our window because we got to get that thing out first thing in the morning. It's the first thing our fans see. And so I carried the theme of Scary Hours and kind of, played along with that. You got to have some banter between teams throughout the season. So that was kind of our fun moment. And then obviously through the mix, just telling the story of the game. So I hope you guys can see that through the Scary Hours mix.
Okay.
Real life.
That's kind of cool.
Real life.
Cool.
It is. Real life of a video producer / video editor. So he basically just talks through the process of putting together his favorite mixtape of the year, which is of a particular game versus Brooklyn. And it just gives you an insight so he explains the window they have after a game where he wanted to put together this really fun mix telling the storyline of the game. And the window is basically, it's a night game. The fans want to wait. They want to put this out basically the first person in the morning. So he explains by the time he's done of the night, he actually gets home and works till about 4 or 5 a.m., which I'm not sure how often he does, but he does that. But that's a pretty cool insight into how many hours actually gets put into this. And I thought it was very, very interesting.
I think that is interesting. I like the way he explained how he got the theme and carried it on through the video. Yeah. I also think that, again, we've spoken about this before, but like, I don't think people understand how many hours goes into preparing content sometimes. Like,
yeah,
especially after a game, you're often at the stadium until, well, with AFL anyway, like 12:30, or doing work till 12:31 in the morning, and then trying to get stuff up in the morning after you wake up. The shit we do for you fans.
Well, it's
honestly.
true. I mean, it's true because it does all look like a bit of fun. But the thing I really like about this David guy is he's very big on explaining what he does and helping other creatives. Even just looking at his complicated timeline on the video you see in front of you, but actually look at how many layers there are. And real video chat here, Jules.
It's After Effects and chill chat.
Exactly. It looks complicated. So the Cavs have continued. Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and stop playing with whatever the fuck you're playing with on your desk?
I actually wasn't. My keyboard, maybe. All right, sorry. I'll hand still. Do you want to talk like this? Anyway, so he keeps talking like... no. All right. So the Cavs, they do this for their photographer, Jimmy, I think, and there's a few others they do. So I just really, really like what they're sort of doing during their off-season. And to continue that on... Don't need to show example. Actually, I could quickly share my screen, actually.
Yeah, go on.
This David Sosna bloke, he works in a few sports, but NFL for the other... Who's the NFL Cavs Cleveland team? Browns?
Browns, yeah.
So he works for them as well. Photography, videographer, all of the above. But I think he did a one-off Major League Soccer sort of shoot for one of their games. And instead of just posting the work that David did for them as I assume a freelancer, they made a whole post on basically a day in the life. You can see my screen, can't you?
Yeah.
Day in the life of what David actually does, and there's a voiceover of him explaining almost TikTok style of Major League Soccer invited me to shoot Columbus Crew's new stadium opener at yada yada yada, whatever game. And he makes like a mini vlog. So he posts their photos, really nice fan shots, the atmosphere. So I think this soccer team just opened their new stadium. But my theme of today is championing creatives, because I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, especially... Oh, David Sosna is involved in both, but I just think we go on about posting your work, and this is sort of the next level from the Cavs and Major League Soccer, and I love it.
Do you think something like that would work in Australia, or do you think we're still too far off it?
Like back to the tall poppy thing.
I
think it would work. I think the negatives are gonna. It depends how you do it, but the negatives is, I guess, people might tear it down for putting yourself out there too much or looking a bit wanky doing it. But no, I say go for it. You think it might be?
I think it's a good idea to kind of fill in time during like the off season, like rather than do but the like usual football content where you're just like, oh, here they are training, here they are doing this.
Yeah,
we're scrounging around for like some season reviews or anything like that. So maybe profiling people around the club and what they do during the year and what they do during the off season, bringing that in. Watch this space. You're going to see that on Carlton FC, I reckon. We've just found our off season content for the year.
Don't say it too loud. But no, you're right. I'm glad you said that, because that's sort of part of what I thought, because you can sort of tell when something looks like you're trying to fill content. So the Cavs are doing this with Cavs Creator Week. And guess what this week is? It's Cavs Player Week. So just focusing on... Which sounds more simple. Yeah, player, whatever, Jules. But they're just focusing on individual players around the person, which is easy. It looks structured and it's good.
And that's probably like more relevant to fans once you do the creator stuff, like bring them back with more player-centered content. Yeah. I've got another question for you.
Yes.
Given that, like, David Sosna, is that his name?
Yes, David Sosna.
Do you think it would, and this is something that kind of happens in the, like, I know it happens in the tattoo world where tattoo artists will actually go and do guest spots at, like, different different studios around the world or interstate or wherever it might be. Do you think we'd ever get to the stage where, you know, how the MLS got David Sosna just to come in and do one game?
Yeah.
That we have these like insane content creators just jumping around between teams and being like, okay, this month is going to be Michael Barker month at South Melbourne Phoenix, or this month is going to be Julian Wallace month at Essendon Football Club. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you think they will ever get to that stage?
I don't know if it'd ever get to it, but I think that'd be like extraordinary. I think that'd be really cool. Like, it's almost like cool. The feature of the match is that the guy or girl content creator that carries a sort of brand to them is coming to your game, and you're going to get some elite content out of it.
Yeah. Sorry. You go.
No, go. No, you go.
No, you sounded like you had something serious to say.
No,
I wasn't.
I was literally just going to say something like I'd love that, but go on.
I think you'd be good at it. I think you'd be one of those people.
Well, not me. I'm just saying.
Well, I think you would. Like, as a freelancer, I think you'd be good. I would love to see Jonathan Strangio freelance week.
Strange, yes. Life in the day of Strange. So, listeners, Strange is, he was the first. I'll give a lot of credit to, we make jokes about Strange because he's a great personality, but he taught me a lot in this space. So, he was my senior video producer when I started, but now he's at the AFL, and it'd be very, I don't know what the hell we'd see, to be honest. He's all over that place, that guy. But
we might get a slight egg of him this week. I've heard a funny story that I need to pass on.
I might back onto that because I've got one as well. But anyway,
okay, maybe just do a Strange egging. Keep listening, guys, to find out how we're gonna egg Strangio.
I feel like I've talked a bit, but I've got one more example, completely different. So this week, basketball is my theme of this week, by the way. So sorry if I keep talking about basketball, but the Olympics, as everyone knows, there's practice matches in the basketball. Mm-hmm. So Tokyo Olympics. So Australia have got a few exhibition wins, but Matisse Thybulle, if you don't know the name, Julian, he's in the NBA, but he's the one that, I don't know if you remember in the Hub last year, that did the vlogs. So he did. I
think you showed me some of these.
Yeah, so Matisse Thybulle does day in the life vlogs, and basically I just want to talk about vlogging in professional sports because he did one for the first Road to Tokyo experience, and it's so normal, it's so like raw. So he basically explains from his first day at training, he doesn't know anybody's names because I guess he's in the NBA. A lot of them are NBL guys, new training stuff, yada yada, but he just goes through the normal, like he seems so normal, and that's what I think is really enjoyable to watch. He's actually a very good editor as well. Like he just knows his shit. We don't have to watch it. You can watch it in your spare time if you want, but I just wanted to get your thoughts. Vlogging. What are the kind of
topics that he covers? Is it just literally like what he does on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, literally just what they're doing. So he covers him bringing, he talks about him bringing his camera to practice for the first day, what they're doing in practice, but he talks about how he's nervous to show that he's vlogging. He hasn't told anybody yet, but it's literally just what vlogging is, day in the life.
I think this is, if you're going to ask me my thoughts on vlogging for athletes, I think it's a cool one. I think it's like, I think it's quite personal. I think it can be quite a reflective thing for them as well. So they don't always have to think like, they can have something to look back at and get out of their heads and just talk about what's going on and, you know, bring people into their world a little bit more.
Yeah.
Again, part of me just thinks that like, especially with AFL, maybe like social media followers ruin it for players. Like that if they have a bad game and they go and do a vlog, like they just cop it, which is dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb, but I guess you have to time these things well. You can't go doing a vlog every day of no matter where your club is at.
But this guy's like, you're right. Like just watching this brief thing that you've put up here, his edits seem really seamless. He seems like he's gone in with an idea of how he wants to structure his day, what he wants to talk about, the shots he wants. I think it's quite cool. And the Olympics, like I'm not a big fan of the Olympics, but I guess people are. and to bring them into this world is quite cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that people get to experience.
I think it's also something that people have talked about before, about having that side. So they're just stuck in... Well, actually, I don't know what their situation is, but I imagine they're sort of in a semi-bubble of their own. And it goes back to having that side interest that actually helps on court. So you're not... All your attention isn't on if you're playing good on the court. You've got to have something that sort of distracts you and keeps you busy otherwise. And if the first 2 games are anything to go by, this is working for Big Matisse. But...
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what's on the spot? Like, what's a sport / you could do AFL, a player you would love to see sort of a day in the life? Like, I think someone as mysterious as Dusty would be amazing, but he'd never do it. But
yeah. I don't know. I think... I mean, I know too much about football, so I don't think I want to do football because...
What about like Gee, I was just gone blank. Tennis, Aussie bloke. Kyrgios. No,
Kyrgios.
Kyrgios. Someone with like that
Kyrgios
sort
would
of...
be pretty cool.
Someone like that could be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I also think...
Ash Barty, very normal.
This would be amazing because like... to me, I think it would be really interesting to do a day in the life of a wrestler and like their process of how they prepare for their like a week or for like even a show night, because like there's got to be a lot that goes on, like even in their pre-production meetings, like deciding how they're going to structure the moves and this and that. And I don't know, I think that would be pretty interesting, but I don't think they'd ever do it because they'd have to break character, which would be the issue.
Yeah. You're right, though. But could you imagine, like, back to our world of AFL or even, like, NRL, not that we know that much about it, but I think that sort of content would blow every bit of team content's out the water. If you're talking about...
I think so as well.
Views and interaction. Like, I don't know, you could probably do a lot with it. Sponsors, whatever you want to do with it.
But you'd have to have a very charismatic person, wouldn't you?
I guess so, or just someone that... I guess it depends on the edit as well, because, I mean, if you film enough, you can probably get enough to explain what type of person they are. Like this Matisse Thybulle does seem like a funny sort of guy, but yeah, it's interesting. I mean, listeners, if you've seen the vlogging space, or if you watch other vlogs in different spaces, like what are your thoughts? Like, are there any athletes you'd love to see it? Do you think, like, who would be someone in Australia that would actually, for lack of a better word, like have the balls to do it? I'm not sure.
You know, Josh Adokar would do it.
Who is that?
You know, the guy from Melbourne Storm?
Oh, I think so, actually. Oh, yes, yeah, that was the guy I think of. Is he like a real bubbly out there?
I think he's a quite charismatic guy. I don't know, like, the quality of the... I don't know how good the vlog would be, but it would be interesting.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We haven't shouted out the Melbourne Storm crew, one of our favourites content team. But if you're listening, we want to see it. Josh.
Yeah, Josh Adokar. Or Big Cheese, Hectic Cheese vlog.
Yes. I only know that from that one snippet we raised around the time they won the grand final.
Yeah.
But funny, man. All right, Jules, I've rambled on enough today. So over to you. Good sir.
I reckon that's the most you've ever spoken.
How was it? You liked it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay. I liked it.
Cool.
Cool. So mine is... It's not technically content, but it's from the sports world. So the New Zealand All Blacks have partnered with did partner with an LGBTQI organisation for Pride Month. Plus, yes, for Pride Month. And the All Blacks and forgetting the name of their women's team. Oh, Black Ferns. So it's the All Blacks and Black Ferns. And the All Black Guernsey is obviously such an iconic Guernsey in the rugby league world because it's just, it's black, right? It's just such a cool one. And because they're such a big team and one of the most successful rugby teams in like the history of the sport, everyone knows who it is. They came up with this really cool concept. I'll share my screen.
Of their jersey? Is that what we're talking?
Oh, you've disabled screen sharing.
I haven't disabled. I just haven't. Just relax. It's a Friday. Have a drink. You had too many last night, but just all right. Go. There you go.
Okay. I'll show you what I mean. And so I saw this on Trophy Journal, which I hadn't really heard of before, but they've got some really cool sports and content examples if you're looking for a follow.
I haven't either, actually.
So this is really cool. So basically, when the Guernsey gets pulled too tight, or when it gets pulled, the colours of the rainbow show up in the fabric.
Wow.
For the pride. I guess for the pride flag is what I'm trying to say. And I think like this is really cool because obviously like there's so many clubs that do like really cool intricate pride Guernseys for Pride Round within the AFLW especially. But I think like this is so cool because it keeps the iconic look of the All Blacks Guernsey while also integrating something so subtle but yet so powerful. And the photography that they're using, and of course as usual this will be in our spreadsheet and on YouTube if you want to have a look. It's real hands on the heart type stuff, and they're pulling at their Guernsey to kind of reveal the rainbow flag. It's just quite powerful, really. Like I just think it's quite a good piece. And they put a little video out on it. You don't need to watch it, but it just explains like how it all works.
But that's crazy.
And they explain.
Sorry, that's crazy. With like, hey, at the start of the video, you can see that it literally looks like plain black. Like there's no sign of it being different.
No, and what they say in this video basically is like black is basically made up of, when you mix every color together, it makes black. So this kind of like shows that, you know, underneath every color there's, you know, showing your true colors type thing. It's just a really, I don't know, I just thought it was a really clever integration of pride and pride content into a uniform, number one, but also like the photography in the images is quite simple, but they're quite powerful.
I think there's so many layers to this. Like if you really like, you dive into the heart on the chest thing, like you pull it to see it, and I guess part of the pride focus is to reveal like who you actually are. So like you're pulling and stretching and revealing who you actually are. I don't know. It's a good find. Yeah,
I stumbled across it a couple of weeks ago and I've been meaning to talk about it, but this is really awesome, and whoever worked on it, it looks like it would be some sort of big marketing company that probably put it together. But credit to the All Blacks because this is really cool. Sorry, that's my content for the week. I don't really have a big edit or anything like that. I just think this is one of those spaces where like continuing to push the barrier and make it more integrated rather than. I love the idea of a specially designed Guernsey and it really standing out, but this is something that they could keep regardless, you know, like, and just always be there. And like they said, like representation and consistency is quite important. So yeah, I think that's my content, Barks.
I think you're downplaying it because it could be one of my favorite things you brought to the table, because I think so often we show like a video editor or a piece of graphic design, but in reality so much of this space in what we do is the idea. Like that's one of the better executed ideas of trying to, like as you said, like it feels almost easy to try to whack the pride colours on your Guernsey and try to put a cool design that means something, but they've clearly thought about it, and I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. So one of your best, I think, and I wonder, like, it sort of opens the opportunity to what other teams could do. If that sort of, fabric, or I'm not going to try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but that type of material can be done. Like, it sort of opens the window to other cool things.
Yeah, I think so as well. And, like, you're right, it pushes the barrier of what's actually possible and what you should think of. Like, you should think outside the box of, you know, right, just slapping colours on stuff and how you can better represent, and the photography that you use as well. And it doesn't always have to be this power stance. It can be something quite emotive. It was really well done.
I think it's definitely value in not just like that pose actually suits. You talk about the photography, like I think it's value in not just doing where there might be photography poses just for the sake of getting them to do something.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Absolutely. But I know what you mean.
Thank you. Great work.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, well, I wanted to tell you a story about...
there we go.
I've got a story about not having a story for Egg of the Week. It's Egg of the Week, everyone.
Egg of the Week,
Egg of the
everyone.
Week. Let's get on with it. Sometimes you just need to cut to the chase. You don't need a bullshit story. Lesson learned, Jewel. Alright, what do I have? Oh, I actually got one I saw from Big Edwin. G'day, Edwin. How you going?
Edwin.
Social
Edwin's
sandwich.
been in a good mood lately. He hasn't been potting us.
He has, actually. I wonder if he's alright. Maybe lockdown has gotten to him. Like,
Yeah,
getting
probably.
to changing who he actually is. Like, we know he's a prick, but he's been nice. So. He tweeted... Oh, I'm not share screen. Hang on. He tweeted this during the week. This is our mate Tasmania Jack Jumpers. They signed a player, Jules.
Oh, yes.
They signed
God.
Clint Steindl. And as Esmond has tweeted, he's quoted their signing graphic of the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, and he's written, Clint is always an unfortunate name in graphics with fancy fonts. So as we can see, they've got a nice scriptive... It's funny when you look... Yeah, they've got a nice scriptive font. The graphic looks fine to announce that they've signed Clint Steindl, but with the script font, the L and the I look basically like one letter, so we don't need to spell it out to you, but...
We've got a bit of a see you next Tuesday happening.
We do.
And then the top line.
The more you look at it, the more you just read it like that. And so welcome...
Oh, my God.
No, I'm not going to say it. That's terrible.
Yeah, don't say that. That's not a good word.
Yeah, just saw that during the week. So bit of fun ones for you graphic designers out there.
I'll jump into my egg quickly.
Yes.
And this one might hit close to home for you, Barks. And
Is this the Strange one?
No, this isn't the Strange one. We'll get to story time with Strange quite soon. But this is your good friend, your brother.
Oh, yeah, it was a bloody weird tweet.
Yeah, so our mate Darren, this is his tweet. I don't often tweet non-basketball. I feel like I need music behind me. Like, celebrity reads mean tweets. Like that.
Yeah. You can put it in.
Imagine that's playing the behind. I'll add it in. I don't often tweet non-basketball things. So when I do, it must be pretty serious. So anyway, does anyone else find opening the plastic bags grocery stores provide for fruit a near impossible task? Pretty sure I stood in front of the apples for 10 straight minutes today.
It's so off-brand for Darren.
Oh my God. Like, Darren, what are you doing?
What are you egging here, Joel? What do you find? What is the bit that you are...
Just don't use the plastic bag, number one. Number two...
I texted him that. I said, fun fact, I never use the plastic bags. And he said, what the hell do you do with apples? And I said, we wash them.
Yeah, just put them straight in your bag. What do you need them?
But we've got a comment from this a terrific graphic designer, Lee Olsen. Actually, I actually read a bit of a tease, I guess. I want him on the show in the future. He's a superb graphic designer, but he's commented, especially when you can no longer lick your finger. And Darren, it's a real weird discussion. And Darren replies, cry emoji, was definitely standing there thinking the same. So I'm just imagining Darren standing at the grocery store, just staring at the bags, going, COVID, I can't lick. How do I get the apples?
Why don't you just rub it together? They come apart.
Full 30 for 30 of Darren's problem of using the small plastic bags for fruit.
Oh, God, Darren, you're an egg.
Good egg. I like that. And that was half an hour ago,
Yeah.
Do you want to go story time for Strange?
You want to do story time with Strange?
Yeah, egg him. What are you egging him for?
So I heard this one secondhand the other day. So Jonathan Strangio, everyone does know, used to work at Carlton, now works at the AFL.
We gave this rundown before. Remember?
Yeah, but maybe people just skip straight to Egg of the Week. And if we make this a segment on itself, which I think it should be.
Great call.
So anyway, Strange now does some work for the AFL, and he also does match day video work, I think, like in stadium for MKTG or something like that. He's essentially the floor manager.
Yeah.
And the other day, a couple of Carlton staff were in attendance for the pre-match meeting where they go through everything. And the head honcho, not Strange, was standing in the room. Everyone else was there. And he goes, hey, has anyone seen Jono? And everyone's like, nah. He's like, oh, he's always late. So Strange then burls into the room. He's like, oh, sorry I'm late, guys. Gee whiz.
Your
Had
fault.
2 hours sleep. I've been at the ABC all morning. Oh, how you going, everyone? And sees everyone he knows at Carlton, calls straight into it. How you going, everyone? Anyway, so egg part 1, he's running late. Egg part 2. So Daniel Gorringe is our ground announcer, and he's just finished announcing something during quarter time and has to hand the microphone back to Strange to take to the room. Strange.
Does he say something?
He just doesn't turn the mic off as he's walking away. And it's just gone, gee, that was good, wasn't it? The microphone also goes around the whole stadium.
That's unbelievable. I was there. I didn't notice that.
Oh,
brilliant.
big egg energy. Story time with Strange.
I feel like that's the first thing they're sort of taught to make sure. Luckily, he noticed after that, though.
Oh, dear. Can you imagine?
That's hilarious.
That's my Strange story. Have you got one?
Yeah, I've got a quick one. Just that, I don't know why he called me. I think I asked him something about camera equipment or something, and then he calls me. Look at my phone. Great. Phone call from Strange, and then he says, "Oh, g'day, Bucks, yada yada," and then he just goes, "Oh, hang on a second." Silence. So, can I call you back? I'm like, you called me. And it just reminded me of that TikTok thing of, like athletes call their teammates and then just be like, oh, g'day, mate, on FaceTime. And then like, can I call you back? And then people are like, I'm just like, are you doing that to me? But anyway, just a small little cherry on top egg of don't call someone if you're going to call them back.
The old graphic designer from Hawthorne, Frankie Holzer, he used to do that all the time. He'd just call you and he'd be like, oh, actually can't talk right now. I'll call you back later. Just hang up. It just,
bit of time management.
What? He'd just do it on purpose though. He didn't actually need to talk to you.
That's funny then. I can appreciate that.
Let's, we've had our eggs. We've had our fun. Poor Strangey.
Good guy though.
Into boss of the week.
You got a stutter?
You guys stutter?
I got 2.
You got 2.
But you can go first if you want.
I'll go first. I thought this was really cool during the week. It's not a big one. But the first ever WNBA player on the cover of NBA 2K. So it will be Candace Parker, which is quite cool.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I don't really think I need to share my screen. Have a look. It's on the NBA 2K account. Don't read the comments, though, because if Candace is the boss, there's a lot of eggs in the comments.
Yeah, it's a shame, but you could definitely outweigh the eggs. I mean, outweigh the true boss with eggs. But no, I did see that during the week, and that's pretty cool, actually.
Quite cool.
I think the 2K have done a good job of actually, ages ago, I think they put the WNBA and all the W teams in there. But good boss. I've got a couple. First one, basketball learned as well, actually. And we'll give Casey Sims her credit because she actually sent this one through. Who you kindly let her know that I stole her 3D photo thing we shout out last week. Sorry, Casey, if you're listening, but that's
imitation is the greatest. Yeah. Imitation is the greatest
form of
sign of flattery or something. Yeah.
Form of flattery. Yeah. We're on the same wavelength. Well done, Jules. All right.
Well done. Do you want a kiss?
I fucking just thought we could go on episode 30. Anyway. Matt O is where I am. No, all right. So, Nigeria basketball, inside joke. They're people. That means nothing. We'll ignore that. So, Nigeria basketball, I don't know if you've seen their Twitter during the week, but
Twitter game is elite.
Sorry? Yes. Nigeria basketball. They're actually... So, I feel like we jumped into that too soon, but Nigeria basketball, part of the Olympics, they did whatever they did to get into the Olympics.
Qualified, I think the word is.
Qualified is what... Yeah, well... That sort of explains a bit, doesn't it? They've absolutely killed the online game. So they've gone from, I think I got this right. We can look at their Twitter, but they entered the Olympics with 30,000 followers and are since up to like 75 or something ridiculous like that. And it's
they're up to 91,000. It says right there.
Oh, okay. Well, they tweeted that. That's actually even more insane. So 300% of that's crazy since the Olympics started. But basically, I think they've just done it by showing personality, and this was sent through by Casey. Australia, so they played Australia in a exhibition match, and needless to say, they were quite bad. But Australia shattered in, for like a better word, and won quite easily. But their score graphic is the boss because in their normal, I don't quite get the meme of the crying, well, there's a sad boy's face, but it'd probably be something niche or relevant, yes. But in this two squares where they normally put the scores, they've just got doesn't matter, and I think it's good that they can show a bit of humor. Probably couldn't do. I don't know if they do it in a real game, but that's how they've grown their following.
I think there's that one, and there was also the one after Australia beat USA, and they did the like welcome to the club.
Oh yeah. Have a scroll of their recent tweets, listeners, if you're looking for a bit of character.
But yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. A lot of character.
Thank you. Sometimes I can nail the right word.
Did I see them tweet something where it was like, if you have access to the internet, you have access to the scores. We're not tweeting them or something like that.
Oh yeah, they sort of went on like a rampage of denying people the scores. So people were like saying, "What's the score? What's the score?" And they're like, "Doesn't matter. We're not posting it. Figure it out or something."
I rate that so high. Are you actually in charge of their Twitter? Because you hate fucking live tweeting.
Yeah. Well, they should. Well, he's right. I mean, they're right. You got internet. Figure it out yourself.
Okay, go do it.
They're here to entertain. I love it. All right. So yes, that's one. Yeah, I got two. This one's for a bloke. Oh, it's for you actually, Jules. I wanted to shout you out this week. So this was just. Well, we talked about it before on Marn's last day, but this. It's a sort of a. It's a boss because it's a cool perspective from the other side of things in content. That is the players and the playing group. So you organised a farewell podcast for Marnie, who we referred to leaving. And I listened to it today, and I think basically what the boss is just the appreciation of content from the players' perspective. So we had a few of the AFLW girls in Brooke, Elise O'Day, and Darcy Vesio. And they were basically just talking about how much they appreciate the work that Marnes and our team has done. This is a bit of a weird self-pump up, boss, isn't it? But no, the boss is to you for organising it, and the boss equally is to the girls that went on and did it, because I think it was a really cool perspective of how much they appreciate the work that we and many other teams and other sporting codes put into, building up the brand and the following of the individual players. So just a reminder that how important player relationships are, and that is the boss.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I'll jump in on that. I think there's two additional bosses we need to call out. Number one, the players. Those three are amazing. Like, they gave up their time to come and do that. And they did it so well. Like, the run sheet I handed them basically had nothing on it. It was just a couple of guiding talking points and stuff to keep them going. But they just brought like really good energy, and that just speaks volumes of you're right, the benefit of having good relationships with players. And second, boss, and it pains me to say, but Marnes, for everything that she's done in that space.
It pains you to say. She's in your team. You should be proud.
Yeah, all we need is like another like
pump up
of Marnie. It's been Marnie week, and it feels like it's gone for 7 years.
It's all right. She deserves it. And sorry, I missed that this is also sort of Critter's idea as well. He should get in mention. So Christian from another friend and colleague, that was sort of his idea as well. So not just you, Jules. So get over yourself. It was Critter as well.
I think Critter and I actually had the idea at the same time.
Yeah, you both said it at different times.
Yeah, and I turned to him like, "Oh, I've already asked Minty," and he was like, "Oh, I've already asked Barks." I'm like, "Oh, fuck."
So good.
But yes,
on a good note of being on the same wavelength by you two. But yes, I just thought that'd be a nice boss at the end, because it's important. And the player relationship shines through in the content, I believe.
Yes, it does. And that's why we're. Oh, fuck, this is getting too Carlton. Maybe we can cut this. But the two podcasts we're running at the moment, or have run, are purely based on the relationships that people within our team have built up with the hosts, and that's the only way you get a good show. And I think like that's one good tip you can take if you've finished listening to all the rabble from us. Do your best to have a relationship with players. We've spoken about this so much, but that's where you get your good content. Know what's going on in their life, be able to talk to them, and then make a relationship on the back of that.
Yeah, and it's hard for like I don't know, people like who are me are a bit introverted, but it's just the little things of like how you would pass in the hallway and ask someone how they're going. Like that's how it starts.
Yeah.
But it's a good note.
Exactly. All right. Well, that was a good show, Barks.
You reckon?
Had a bit of fun.
Should we review
it? That'll piss Critter off. Although he hasn't listened in weeks.
No, he said he doesn't listen. So fuck you, Critter.
Let's wrap this up, eh?
All right.
We've got a couple of days in lockdown. Or hopefully by the time you hear this, we're out. And for anyone who is in lockdown, feel for you. We'll get through this this together.
Reach out. It's beautiful words. But reach out if you think there's something we can. We've got more time at home, but if there's something we can do differently to entertain y'all, that's all. That's what we'll happily oblige.
Maybe it's maybe we pull another mailbag episode.
Yeah, or maybe floated this one random Instagram live with a past guest. Something out of the water. Is that the saying?
Hey, anyway, we're not here to plan our next episide, but
we're here for you to plan it for us because we're lazy. Please write our run sheet. Sorry,
we've hit. You guys have been sending in. Shut up, Barks, mate. You talk too much. You fucking have half a can of cider and you're the chattiest bloke in the world.
You told me I talked too much at work the other day, so I definitely didn't have a cider then. Anyway, lead us home.
We've been loving all the content you've been sending through. Really appreciate it. Keep sending it through because we do look at it all. And we will keep updating our content spreadsheet. We'll probably talk about some of the stuff you sent through on the show. So as always, like, follow, share content via Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And also check out our content spreadsheet, which is linked in the bio. Anything else from you, Barker?
No, that's all. You said it beautifully. Echo exactly what you said, and thanks, everyone. So have a good week.
Peace out.
Peace out. Homies. All right, see ya.